Hi there, this is Franz Rosati. I am an electronic musician and digital artist from Rome, Italy. I will play a short live set for Umanesimo Artificiale using this Max patch developed specifically for this event. The starting point for the development of the patch is the audio engine from another work of mine that is called Machine Instructor, and you can check it on my website. Basically is an audiovisual sculpture where sound and 3D geometries generate and modulate themselves in an infinite recursive way. So basically the sound is produced by the analysis of the vertices of the 3D form, and the 3D form is produced by the analysis of the waveform. So I'm really glad if you want to check this work and just dive into my website. So the patch is based on 6 modules. Each one is a sort of procedural wavetable oscillator, and on the inside you can see the patch here. Just okay. One. Okay, so those three are the 3 oscillators, wavetable. As you can see, they just transform in time, and I have 2 groups, so a total amount of 3 oscillators, each one with 16 voices. And so the whole patch has a pretty large amount of oscillator. It's kind of a huge bank of oscillators controllable independently. Then there's a lot of amplitude modulation to produce very simple but effective time shifting envelopes, and the waveform are generated by a noise function here. As you can see, this is the noise function that I use to transform into sound. So by analyzing this image here, I can produce the waveform you can see here. It's very easy process, but pretty effective. Then I love to use a lot of hyperbolic tangent function, as you can see there, to add some higher up harmonics and crispness to the sound. I really love to play with very distorted sound when I play with synthetic stuff like this, or when I play with sample-based or more complex granular stuff or something like that. So I use a lot to saturate the dynamic range with both very low frequencies, for example, to produce a sort of accidental sidechain you will hear later, I hope. So just take a look at the patch and the modules. So basically every module has its own tuning section here, the envelope section here, the tune and start section, and the sub oscillator here. So just activate, for example, this one, just put it on the center and start. So this is basically the first set of oscillators playing an A at the 3rd octave with very few the tune, and playing with floor active. It means for me that it's playing textural. When I switch this to 0.001, it's controlling the envelope. So If I activate the sound, you will hear a rhythmic sound. The sound is composed by 16 by 6 voices. I can detune and I can detune it very widely to obtain a pseudo snarish sound. Then I can then this parameter is pretty important because it's the amplitude modulation, it's the envelope. So I can just adjust the speed. So I can decide if to put at 10 Hertz, for example, and at the same time the steepness of the envelope. So I can put it like this. Just this is pretty nice to obtain noisy rhythmic stuff, for example. Then in this bar you can see the second oscillator set octave. So this is for the whole 6 oscillator, but I can switch the second group of oscillators up to 2 octave up or 2 octave down. Another very interesting feature I decided to put here is this fader and this fader. So both control the stereo field. The first one can just put my sound on the left or on the right with a specific pan low. Or just keep it on the center. When the sound is on the center, I can decide to play it as a stereo wide or a central, or mono, sorry. So in this transition, I can put all the oscillator on the center, while on the other side of the slider, it's like all the tuned oscillators just spread to the stereo field. And this is pretty nice when I introduce a little motion on the wavetable. So now you have heard a steady state waveform, and now we will play the wavetable motion. So just because this is a wavetable oscillator based on KS function, this is pretty unpredictable. So when I move this, I need to be very smart, because if I move this fast, it produces a lot of click, just because this is not a fixed parameter but an accumulator. So it means that the wavetable moves at 0.1 Hertz speed. The last part, the last section, is this table here. As you can see, if I move this fader, both the tune amount and rhythmic parameter are changing. That's because this is a very simple tendency mask. I can use to design a curve for a speed modulation, the tune modulation, and position of the fader itself. So if I activate this, I can do this kind of very nice timbral and time shifting rhythms. So then what I really love to do with this patch is compose very intricate rhythmic structure like this, for example playing at higher octaves, so by using two banks of oscillators at slightly different speed. So for example something like 5.656 and 5.757, sorry, well no, 0.575, so just like this. It's not 6 but 7, okay. And play it in the mode you see before, so rhythmic mode, and it sounds like this. Now I can put it on the left and on the right. And then I can add some other oscillators. So now I can, for example, I can activate one of the 6 sub-oscillators to add some low end to this stuff. And this oscillator just, this sub-oscillator just works like setting up a frequency that is now 15 Hz, a weighted amount of times that kick occur, that is related to the speed of the oscillator, and a time of arise. So I just activate this. As you can see now, this at the same speed of this. If I put this at 10%, for example, I can have something really elegant like this. So, for example, I can add 2 sub-oscillators with 10 Hz difference or other difference, both at 10% weighted, so I can manipulate the time this way. Another thing I really love to do is to add at some point some randomness to the speed. So this is really related, this is all related to the tendency masks here. So just this is just an overview of the whole patch. I also have a preset management system, but I don't like to use it as a preset table to switch during the performance, because I really love to perform with this stuff by fine-tuning all the parameters while playing, and add more liveness, like is some kind of cinematic computer music with a free jazz attitude. So let's play something with this machine. I really hope you enjoy.